सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ओम शांति शांति शांति। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। चैतन्यं सर्वगं सर्वं सर्वभूतगुहाशयं यत्सर्वविषयातीतं तस्मै सर्वविदे नमः। एतेनैवात्मनात्मानः ग्रहो बुद्धेर्निराकृतः अंशोऽप्येवं समत्वाद्धि निर्भेदत्वान्न युज्यते। शून्यतापि न युक्तैवं बुद्धेरन्येन दृश्यता। युक्तातो घटवत्तस्याः प्राक्सिद्धेश्च विकल्पतः। एतेन एव आत्मा आत्मानः ग्रहः बुद्धिः निराकृतः। उक्त न्यायेन विज्ञानवादी बौद्धोऽपि निराकृतः। यद्धर्म यः पदार्थो न तस्यैवात् सकर्मताम्। Whatever be the dharma of a padartha, a padartha cannot become subject to that dharma. Meaning that, as an example, to burn is a dharma of fire, so fire cannot become the object of burning. To illuminate the nature of sun, sun cannot be the object of illumination. A dharma cannot work upon its own self. So jnana swavaatma, dharma atma is jnana swabhava of the nature of jnanam or knowledge or consciousness. The atma cannot become the object of consciousness. Meaning that atma cannot know itself. And therefore, samvedetvam is not possible. So therefore, vijnanavadi, dakshinikavadi, एतेन आत्मनः ग्रहः बुद्धेः निराकृतः। सो बुद्धेः आत्मनः स्वरूपस्य आत्मनः ग्रहः। This Bauddha Paksha, that Atma is Swasamvedya, Buddhi is the Atma, by the way, for them. So Buddhi is Swasamvedya, meaning that Buddhi, the self, knows itself. Iti nirakritah. Eten ukta drishtanta prabandhena. Like the drishtanta of Agni and others, it is not possible that Buddhi can become the object of the nature of Buddhi. And so the Swasamvedyatvam that the Bauddhas talk about, where Buddhi alone is the Atma and Atma knows itself, Buddhi knows itself, also is one thing cannot know itself. A thing cannot become the object of its own dharma. Swarupasya Swarupeneva Grahyatva Bhavevi. Swarupasya Swarupena Grahyatva Bhava. That burn, heat being the nature of fire, fire cannot burn itself. Knowledge being nature of the Atma, it cannot eliminate itself. And Buddhi also, if that is Atma, Buddhi also cannot eliminate itself, cannot know itself. So, Swarupena Grahyatva Bhavevi. That it cannot be grahya or objectified or perceived by a Swarupa, its own nature. Ekena amsena grahyatvam amshantrana grahakatvam is kalpanatra. And other kalpana that one amsha of the Atma knows other amsha of the Atma. If Atma is enjoys or Atma is possessed of that duality or division of amsha amshi. That's called the Bheda. That Bheda or division within the Atma of amsha and amshi, if it is there. And then also the question was asked earlier that amsha is it chetana or is it jada? If amsha is jada, then it cannot be a part of Atma because Atma is chetana. And chetana and jada cannot coexist as amsha amshi. If amsha is chetana, then it is the same as Atma is also chetana. Amsha samattvadhi. And therefore again we come to the same thing, that one thing cannot grasp itself. So amsha also is chetana, which is grahya. Atma amshi also is chetana, grahaka. If both of them enjoy the same nature, chetanatvam, then they cannot have the relationship of grahya, grahaka, because both are of the same nature. And nirbhedatva, number one, bheda of amsha amshi cannot be, because in consciousness that is uniform or that is homogeneous. And amsha amshi, both samatva, both of them are conscious, therefore also they cannot have the relationship of the grahya, grahaka. Evam buddhe swatma grahyatva nirakaranena. Arsat ajyagrahyatva upakshiptam. We saw that yesterday. That buddhi cannot perceive itself. Buddhi cannot know itself. Therefore, buddhi is known by something else. Because buddhi is known. That is accepted. If buddhi cannot know itself, then it amounts to saying that buddhi is known by something else. So that knower of the buddhi is already accepted. By recognizing buddhi as known, we are already accepting the knower of the buddhi, which is other than buddhi. Anyatha tasya kshanikattvadi asiddhe. Otherwise, the nature of buddhi, as the Buddhas claim, is kshanika or momentary. How do we determine? There was someone who knows the momentariness of the buddhi, then you can say buddhi is momentary. When they say that you do not require a knower other than buddhi, because buddhi is swasamvedya, therefore it knows its own kshanikatva. Buddhi or Atma knows its own momentariness because of swasamvedyatvam. The idea of swasamvedyatvam also cannot be logically justified, because one cannot objectify oneself. And so by the arguments that are presented, swasamvedyatvam is not possible. So your claim that buddhi swasamvedya doesn't stand to any reasoning, and therefore you have to accept a sakshi of the buddhi. And therefore Buddhas go a step further. So the mahabhutarihi buddhi. Then Yogachara, the Shunyavadi say that, all right, let there be no buddhi. Who says there is buddhi? If you accept the buddhi, then the question of knowing the buddhi comes. Then question of knower of the buddhi comes. We say there is no buddhi. No, there is no other buddhi. Everything is shunyam. Therefore, tad grahakasya aparaha. We say there is no buddhi, and therefore grahaka, the perceiver of buddhi also is not there. Because the buddhi is not there, then there is no justification for a perceiver of buddhi. Shunyameva atmaswarupamiti. Atmaswarupa shunyameva. This is how one step by step they go. Each one dismisses the previous one, and Shunyavadi dismisses everybody. And then Vedanti has to dismiss the Shunyavadi. So Manduki Karika also basically Kshanikavadi and Shunyavadi. These two always stand as the opponents of the Vedanta. But they come very close to Vedanta also. So let us read the verse 15 again. Shunyatapi na yuktaivam buddheranyena drishyata yuktato ghatavattasyaha praksiddhescha vikalpatah. Evam sunyata vinayukta. In this manner, sunyata, or there is void, non-existence, also cannot be justified logically. Because buddhehe anyena drishyata yukta ghatavat tasyaha. That because buddhi is known, therefore there must be a knower of the buddhi. And vikalpatah prak siddhesya tasyaha vikalpatah. And before the buddhi is created, there must be the cause of the buddhi also. So buddhi is one drishya, and second buddhi is vikalpa or karya. So drishya presupposes drashta, and karya presupposes karanam. For both these reasons, you cannot say that there is nothing other than buddhi. They don't want to accept buddhi, but buddhi is a matter of experience. You cannot dismiss what is experienced. You have to explain your experience, not dismiss the experience. And so, the Tika says, Evam sati shunyatapi na yukta. So, verse says shunyatapi na yukta evam. Explaining those words, evam means evam sati. This being the case, as explained earlier, shunyatapi na yukta. Because there cannot be swasamvedyatvan buddhi. And therefore you would accept a grahaka or a knower of the buddhi. And therefore you cannot say sakshi is not there, because without sakshi, presence of something is not established. Yadva, or put it this way, yatha buddhehe swagrahyata na yukta yukti virodhat. Swagrahyatva yukti virodham. One thing, objectifying oneself, it defies the logic. Because the thing cannot be simultaneously grahya as well as grahaka. Because they are mutually exclusive. They cannot coexist. And that being the case, buddhe swagrahyata na yukta. Swagrahyata, swasamvedyatvam, self-knowing, knowing itself, is not yukta, is not reasonable, logical. Then now evam can be explained differently. First, evam was evam sati. This being the case, meaning what is explained previously. Or evam in this manner you can say. Evam means what? Shunyatapi. So just as buddhe swagrahyata na yukta, yukt virodhat, just as because of the contradiction in the very idea of swasamvedyatvam, it does not stand the scrutiny of reasoning. एवं युक्ति विरोधात् एवं शून्यता बिना युक्ता. सो बुद्धेः तत् अभासस्य शून्यता बिना युक्ता. Then buddheः शून्यता न युक्ता तत् अभासस्य च. Wherever buddhi is, there is going to be avabhasa or reflection of consciousness, so chidabhasa must be there. So you cannot dismiss the existence of buddhi or existence of the chidabhasa. Why? Aparokshataya tasya pratiyamanatvat. You know, shunyatvam is dismissed another way also. Here swasamvedyatvam is dismissed. More than shunyatvam. Shunyatvam is dismissed by the pratyabhijna of continuity of the one I was yesterday is the one I am today, so that shows continuity of existence. Therefore, kshanikatvam is dismissed by the idea. But here the swasamvedyatvam of the buddhi is dismissed. So not only the Buddhas claim buddhi to be kshanika, also buddhi to be swasamvedyatvam. So buddheः swasamvedyatvam is not logical, and the shunyata or the non-existence of buddhi is not logical, but buddhi is experience aparokshata tasya pratiyamanatvat. Everybody knows buddhi as immediate knowledge, and that we can't say it is not there. So shunyata bhi evam na yukta. Then next line says yukt ataha, there is ataha in the second line. Ataha is the fifth case. Ataha hetoho. Tasmat, for that reason. Because ataha can have different meanings. So here is the fifth case in the sense of the cause or nimitta. Ato ataha hetoho, for this reason. Ghatavat, again second line of the verse, Ghatavat anyena, first line. So the words are all mixed up here. Ghatavat, second line, anyena in the first line, buddhi anyena. Saksha anyena by otherwise, so buddhi. So Ghatavat anyena, just as a part, is saksha is witnessed by some entity different from part. And since buddhi is immediately experienced, you cannot dismiss the existence of buddhi. Since buddhi is experienced, there must be an experience other than buddhi, like a ghata is experienced and there is an experiencer of ghata. So ghatavat anya sakshana buddhi grahyata yukta. Buddhi anyena drishyata yukta. Ataha ghatavat buddhi anyena drishyata yukta. That's how it goes. Ataha hetoho. For this reason, for what reason? Aparokshaya pratiyamanatvat. Because buddhi is perceived as an immediate object of experience, therefore, there must be a perceiver. Anyena sakshana grahyata yukta. There must be a sakshi, a witness, who perceives or experiences buddhi because buddhi is experienced. Sakshini parivasanaat. So buddhi leads to sakshi. This ghata leads to the ghata drashta because otherwise the existence of ghata cannot be established. So the buddhi leads to buddhi sakshi because otherwise buddhi's existence cannot be established. Sakshini parivasanaat tasyapi na shunyata ashanka ityartha. So tasyapi sakshina, that the shunyata of buddhi cannot be accepted, nor shunyata of sakshi can be accepted. Because you have to accept because buddhi is experience. Buddha may have something else to say, but we are looking at the day-to-day experiences. They say nothing is there to experience anyway. Buddhi projects things, and that's how you think you are experiencing. There is nothing to experience, nobody to experience it. It's a matter of argument, But we are just taking the day-to-day life experiences and saying that doesn't make sense. That's one thing. Second is prak siddhescha vikalpada cha. There is a cha there. Prak siddhescha vikalpada. So tika says kincha, that's chakara. Furthermore, and tasyaha vikalpatah. Tasyaha buddhe vikalpatah. Because buddhi is a vikalpa. Vikalpa means kalpana or projection. In this case, it means karya, because Vedanta also says that what is created is only projected. So, second reason is buddhehe, tasyaha meaning buddhehe vikalpataha. Because buddhi is a vikalpa, is a kalpana, is projection, is karya, and therefore it presupposes the karanam. Vikalpataha, so, or vikalpataha prag. So before the vikalpana or projection of buddhi, creation of buddhi, prageva tat sakshana siddhehe. That one is buddhi is witnessed. Second is buddhi is created. What is witnessed presupposes witness. Was created presupposes the creator or cause. Na shunyata kadapi ityartha. Therefore, for these two reasons there cannot be shunyata of buddhi, nor can there be shunyata of the witness of the buddhi. How do you say that there is something that exists before buddhi? It says buddhi vikalpanat purvameva sushuptovapi atma prakasha sadbhava angikartavya. This is where also the contention is. Vedanta says that in Sushupti also Atma Prakasha is there. In the deep sleep also the consciousness shines. Buddha says there is no consciousness in Buddhi in deep sleep. So deep sleep is a state of void according to Buddha. Deep sleep is a state of the effulgence of the Atma according to Vedantins. So their understanding of what is deep sleep is much different in different people. Deep sleep is accepted as the causal state. If you understand that, then you arrive at the cause of the whole creation, cause of everything. So the Mimamsakas Bhatta say that in deep sleep state, they accept that there is knowledge, because when you wake up in the morning, you say that I slept well, I did not know anything. So you accept the experience of the jnanam, ignorance as well as happiness. So this is an experience and also. So they imagine that Atma has two aspects, Amsha and Amshi. One aspect, conscious and unconscious. The conscious aspect of Atma knows the unconscious aspect. This is all the Bhatta say. And others say that there is void, as Buddha says. Vedanta says there is light there because of the recollection that you have in the morning. And therefore, there is knowledge or light or experience in the deep sleep state also. Buddhi vikalpanat purvameva sushuptovi atma prakasha sadbhava angikartavya hai. Sushuptovi, in deep sleep state, there is no experience of buddhi. But there also atma prakasha sadbhava angikartavya hai. We accept this sadbhava, existence of the Atma Prakasha, the consciousness that Atma is, has to be accepted in deep sleep. Why? Anyatha sushupte asakshikatvat avasthantere paramarshanudaya prasangadi bhava. So paramarsha, the recollection is there, memory is there when you wake up. Sukham asvapsam, I slept happily. The kinchit avedisham, I did not know anything. So it's called smriti or paramarsha. This could not be yasmisa anubhava purvika. Smriti presupposes anubhava. That means there is experience in deep sleep, and that experience is illumined, and that Atma is there. Sushupti asakshikatvat. If Sushupti does not have a sakshi, then there cannot be recollection in the morning. Unless you have witnessed, you cannot recollect, your experience. Recollection or a memory is only of that which you have experienced. And your morning statement indicates your memory of what you went through in a deep sleep state. Therefore, it shows or establishes the existence of the witness in the deep sleep state also. Therefore, there cannot be shunyatva of the witness, cannot be shunyatva of the buddhi, or shunyatva of anything for that matter, because Vedanta does not accept non-existence. Non-existence you can't arrive at, you can't experience non-existence anyway. One who claims it is non-existence must accept his own self. So this is just a fancy, non-existence, a fancy of Nayayikas also. Different kind of abhava they imagine, pragbhava, then pragbhava, what is then pradvamsabhava, anyonya bhava, atyanta bhava. Non-existence is qualified. What do you mean qualification? Non-existence, how can you qualify? But anyway, this is a fancy of the logical process, whatever. Understand that Vedanta does not accept non-existence. Because you cannot deny existence, Sat cannot be denied, the denier himself is existent. Therefore, the Buddha saying that non-existence is the reality cannot be accepted. Then further, kincha yat karyam yad animitam dushyate tat tasya karanam. So there must be a karanam for the buddhi in the deep sleep state was established by the recollection in the morning. That buddhi, deep sleep state is accompanied by a witness. An illuminator of deep sleep is established by the recollection of experience of deep sleep. Another way also of establishing the cause of buddhi. What is it? Kincha yat karyam yad anvitam drishyate tat tasya karanam. So whatever karya, like it says, yatha ghatanvita mrit. So whenever you experience a ghata, you also experience that mrit or the clay which upadana karanam pervading the pot. Yat karyam yad anvitam drishyate. So when you find a karya or an effect accompanied by, a pot is always accompanied by a clay, anvitam. Therefore, tat tasya karanam, that clay or the earth, or they call it mud, what of clay. So clay must be the cause of pot because pot is always experienced in accompaniment with clay, otherwise you can't experience the pot. Like an ornament is experienced and accompanied with gold. So then, tasya karanam. So that which accompanies the karya is the karanam, upadana karanam. So clay is the upadana karanam, material cause of entities such as pot. Gold is the upadana karanam, material cause of entities such as ornament. So this is the rule. Karya vikalpat prak siddham cha. So two rules are stated. That when you find something accompanied by something, that what accompanies must be karanam, what is accompanied is karyam. Secondly, karya vikalpat prak siddham, and the karanam, the material cause must existed before the creation of the effect. The clay must exist prior to the pot. So karya vikalpat prak siddham, before vikalpa, creation of karya or the effect, the upadana karanam, material cause, must be existing. Yatha ghatanvita mrit, that how mrit accompanies ghata, therefore it is material cause. And mrit always, ghata presupposes the existence of mrit or the clay. Tatha बुद्ध्यादेः विकल्पस्य सदार्थ अन्विततया उपलब्धमानत्वात्. So buddhyadeः vikalpasya. All this vikalpa or projection of karya, buddhi and others. So buddhi is the subtlest of them all, then comes manaha, then comes in prana, indriyani, deha, vishaya, etc. Sadartha anvitataya upalabhyamanatvat. That was buddhi, manaha, prana, indriyani, deha, vishaya, anything in the universe, gross or subtle, they're always accompanied by isness. Because if something is not accompanied by isness, that something cannot become the object of a knowledge. Its existence can't be established. Therefore, sadartha anvitaya upalabhyamanatvat sat artha. And so anything that is there in the creation, beginning from buddhi, is always accompanied by sat. Just as a pot is accompanied by a clay also, every name and form is accompanied by asti and then bhati and priyam. Therefore, number one, that sat is the cause of everything that is buddhi and other things, and sat must exist before the creation of buddhi, two things. Prak siddha sat karanakatvam yuktameti. Therefore, buddhi and everything that is there in the universe has its cause in sat, and each sat precedes everything as a cause. So two things are there. Avikalpam. So next verse is Avikalpam tadastyeva yat purvam syad vikalpatah vikalpotpatti hetutvad yadyasya tu karanam. Yadyasya tu karanam. That which is the cause of what? Like the clay which is cause of the pot. Tadastyeva tat puram yat puram syad vikalpatah. That must exist before vikalpa of the effect. Vikalpotpatti hetutvad, because that's the very cause of the vikalpa of the karya. Therefore it is there before the vikalpa of the karya. Avikalpam. Now then we come to the ultimate cause is avikalpam, uncreated. This is another kind of, so they always say that every karana seems to be a karya from the standpoint. If sat is accepted as karya, then this is infinite regression. If every karana must also be a karya and every karana must have a karan, that's what we observe in our Vyavahara, that clay is the karana of the pot and clay is an effect of some other karana which is karana of something. Every karanam also is karya. If sat is the karanam also of the jagat, then sat also must be karya of something else. If God created the world, then somebody must have created God also. Avikalpa, uncaused cause. So this process of investigating the final cause from the chain of the effect leading to cause, that must ultimately lead to a cause which is uncaused cause. Otherwise, there is infinite regression. Anavastha dosha will be there, and we find the world there. We find there is world, you can't deny that. World can be only if there is a cause which is uncaused, otherwise it can't be. A thing cannot be unless it is ultimately preceded by an uncaused cause. Even in pot cannot be. And the final cause of the pot is, so you can reduce the effect into cause and reduce the effect into cause, and this process of reduction must lead to a cause which cannot be reduced further. It's called irreducible. So, avikalpam. So avikalpa means sar. So tikakara sar vikalpa rahitam kutastham. Avikalpam, devoid of vikalpa, devoid of vikriya, devoid of projection, kutastham, changeless. The problem is that every karanam also is vikari. The upadana karanam is vikari, meaning it is subject to modification. Then only the karya or the effect can be produced. So usual nature of upadana karanam or material cause is that material cause transforms itself to become the effect, just as the clay transforms itself to become the pot. So, no material cause can be changeless. But ultimately, if this process will lead to a cause which is not the effect, which is uncaused, then that cause must be kutastham, changeless. So, avikalpa means what? Sarva vikalparahitam kutastham ityartha. And that's not logical. The only way that becomes logical is the original cause is adhisthana karanam. And the karya is a projection or a superimposition. That's how Vedanta has resolved this whole problem of uncaused cause. If the cause is material cause in primary sense, then no material cause can be uncaused. Because material cause must undergo change or transformation, vikara, to become effect. Anything that is vikari means that it is produced also. If the ultimate cause is uncaused, that only can be if it is kutastha, is not created, self-existing, and still creates everything, that can only be what is created is mithya or projection. Meaning that ultimately the relationship between the karana and karya must be adhisthana adhyaropa. That's a brilliant, brilliant explanation by Vedanta. So Tika says, akarana karyatva utpatte anupatte karanasattvam ishtavyam. Because we cannot accept the creation of the effect without the cause, and therefore, karanasattvam, therefore we should accept the existence of karana of the cause. Anyatha, so shunyam, here the argument is very simple. Shunyam cannot be the ultimate cause. Shunyam, a non-existence, cannot be the cause, cannot be the material cause. Anyatha, karya vishesharthinam, karana vishesha upadana pravrutti niyam anupattehi. The niyama is there. What's the niyama? Karya vishesharthinam, those who desire a specific karya, like you want to make a chapati, a specific karya, effect or product, karana vishesha upadana pravrutti, you must necessarily go for a vishesha karanam such as a flour. Wheat flour, they call it not flour but flour, by the way. So wheat flour. You go for a particular cause like wheat flour. If you desire to make a chapati, you must go for a specific cause such as wheat flour. To make a pot, you must go for a specific cause such as clay. So karana vishesha, it's called upadana. Upadiyate, that which is taken up for creating something. That clay is taken up for creating a pot. The wheat flour is taken up for creating chapati. And you always go, you want to make a sweater, go for the woolen, so otherwise that immediately one wants to make sweater, which is a specific karya or, product. You go for a specific karan, which is the upadana. This is a rule that is, you can't dismiss this. So niyama, so pravrutti niyama anupatti. That for karana vishesha, for a upadana, for a given karya, you must necessarily reach out for a given material cause. to create a specific karya or effect. This is a niyama or rule that we find in the day-to-day world. If Shunya is Upadana Karanam, that means you don't require a tangible cause. Shunyasya Saratras, then you need not go for a specific Karan. If Shunya is the cause of chapati, then anything, chapati is made from Shunya, pot also is made from Shunya, everything is, if Shunya is the ultimate cause. And Shunya is everywhere, because according to everything Shunya. In that case, for making a particular product, all that you need is Shunyam, which is the Vadanakana, material cause. And Shunya is available everywhere. Therefore, for making chapati also you go for Shunya. Making sweat also you go for Shunya. Making pot also you go for Shunya. If Shunya was the ultimate cause, but every cause is Shunya, then you don't require a specific cause for a specific effect. However, in life we find that you require a specific material cause for a specific effect. That would not be if the cause was Shunya. So therefore, Shunya cannot be cause, and the cause must be Kutassa, as well as that means self-existing, self-shining, and therefore Sat must be the cause, ultimate cause. Here, more than saying Sat is the cause, Shunya cannot be the cause. So Shunyavad and Nirakaranam. Now we come to that question, which we already replied, but here, Kutastasya Brahmatmana Katham Karanatvam? By saying that Brahma or Atma is avikalpam, is uncreated, Kutasam, changeless. How can Brahman, that is Atma, the consciousness, change? How can it be cause? Because a material cause must necessarily undergo transformation to become the effect. And Brahman cannot undergo transformation. How can it be material cause? Vyaparvadhi karanam nameti ashankya karanam nama. What is called karanam, what is called material cause, even the nimitta karanam also. The upadanaka material cause, nimitta karanam intelligent cause, like a pot maker for pot. Karanam nama vyaparvadhi. That cause must be in particularly the nimitta karanam. The efficient cause or intelligent cause must necessarily have a vyapara. Like a pot maker must have a vyapara or an activity for producing pot. So how can Brahman be nimitta karanam? It cannot be upadana karanam, it is kutastha. So nimitta karanam is akriya. So nimitta karanam must be sakriyam, and upadana karanam must be vikriyam or vikriyavat, vikrutam. Therefore, how can Brahman become either the material cause or the efficient cause? Iti asankya rajjuvat sarpasya. So then ultimately Vedanta comes to this cause. Rajjuvat sarpasya vivarta adhishthanataya. And so they have changed the whole idea of the karanam. Thus they introduce vivarta karanam. A karanam need not necessarily be parinami upadana karanam. There can be vivarta upadana karanam. That one model is the clay is the cause of the pot, which is the parinami upadana karanam. Other is the rope is the cause of the snake, which is the vivarta upadana. It's a projection. Rajva sarpasya vivarta adhishthanataya tasya karanatvam. How Rajju is the karanam, the cause of sarpa, the snake, being the adhishthanam, the substratum upon which the sarpa is projected. Therefore, what Vedanta says that karyam or effect is always projected upon the adhishthanam, the substratum. So tasya karanatvam ghatate. So you have to provide a reasoning because buddhi wants to understand with reasoning. So you want to claim that Brahman is the Karanam, Brahman is Kutastham, Avikriyam, Nishkriyam, and so Brahman does not satisfy the requirements of being a material cause which must be subject to vikriya or modification. It cannot be nimitta karanam because nimitta karanam is vyaparavat, always possessed of the activity or action. Brahman is neither of them. Nishkalam, Nishkriyam, Shantam. So, but this way the karanatvam ghatate. As adhisthana karanam, Brahman can be karanam. Iti abhipretya ajnanamidi. So next verse says, see how you can see how the teacher is slowly and slowly, in a very subtle and systematic manner, leading us to the ultimate nature of truth and always and also the nature of the knowledge. All of this in a subtle manner. He so see the whole thinking process here. Ajnanam kalpana moolam samsarasya niyamakam hitvatmanam param brahma vidyan muktam sada bhayam. Ajnanam kalpanamulam samsarasya, of the samsara, of the creation of name and form. Ajnanam kalpanamulam, ajnana is the mulam, the very cause of kalpana or projection. But ignorance can only bring about project, ignorance cannot create anything tangible. Ignorance can only create the appearance of something. You call it delusion or appearance of something. Ignorance cannot create anything tangible. So rope ignorance can create only appearance of snake, not a tangible snake. In that, thus we arrive at the appearance. The universe is an appearance. It is mithya, which is what Buddhas also say. Except they say that all there is appearance and there is no substratum. They don't accept a sustaining substratum. That is, appearance is sustained by something that is continuous, that they don't accept. There is no continuity. All there is kshanikatvam, no continuity. So, kalpanamulam and niyamakam, these two adjectives are stated for the jnanam. So, Tika explains ajnanam. What is ajnanam? Anadi avidya. Call it ajnanam or avidya, but it's not jnana abhavaha. It is the some kind of a tangible, entity which is anadi, which has no cause of its own. So Brahman also is uncaused cause. Ignorance also is uncaused cause. Understand? Except Brahman is uncaused cause at the paramatic level, avidya is uncaused cause at the vyavaharik level. Ajnanam anadi avidya kutastha pratyagatmani brahmani sarkalpanayaha moolam. Ajnanam kalpanamulam kalpanayaha moolam sarvakalpanayaha moolam. Ignorance is the moolam, the very cause of all kalpana, all the projections. Upon what? So projection presupposes adhishthanam or substratum. What is that here? Kutastha pratyagatmani brahmani. So Brahman, that is the substratum which is pratyagatma, which is kutastha. So what is kalpanayaha moolam? Understand. Ajnanam is the moolam, the very cause of kalpana, projection upon Brahman, which is Atma, is kutastha. What is meant by that? Atadrupa pratibhasa hetu ityartha. atasmin tad buddhi. So atadrupa pratibhasa hetuhu. Pratibhasa appearance, hetuhu cause of appearance of something that is different. Meaning that the ignorance of the rope is the cause of appearance of snake, which is atadrupam. Snake, which is of nature different from rope, the rope ignorance is the cause of projection of snake, which is non-rope. Sarvayutayam rajvam sarpa adhyaropa. So there is no snakeness in the rope. Upon rope there is the appearance of snake, which is totally absent in rope at all the three times. This basic rule is that the projection is non-existent in the adhishthanam at all the three periods of time. Atadrupa pratibhasetu ityartha. To explain tathacha chit avidya vivarteshu karyeshu sattatmana bhasamanataya karatvam kutastasyapi ghatate iti bhava. So here Vedantin says there is no rule that the upadana karanam must necessarily be vikari. Upadana karanam need not necessarily undergo change. What's the rule here? Karyanvitam. That which always accompanies karya. That is called material cause that always accompanies karyam. So clay is a material cause which always accompanies the effects such as part. Therefore, what is the karanam? What is the cause of creation? That which accompanies creation. It is not sat. So any name and form can only be appreciated as existence. So sat or existence always accompanies every name and form, the whole samsara. So for us the rule of arriving at the material cause is not that material cause must necessarily undergo change to become the effect. Material cause must accompany the effect, that's all. Yes, in case of pot and clay, the clay accompanies and clay undergoes transformation is a different thing. But clay is the material cause not because it undergoes transformation, it is material because it accompanies the pot. And so also the Sat accompanies the whole universe wherever, at all times and places. And therefore that is our definition of material cause. And therefore Sat is a material cause. Chit avidya vivarteshu karyeshu. What do you expect? Chit or consciousness. Chit avidya, ignorance of Chit or the consciousness or Atman. Vivarteshu karyeshu. Upon Chit then there is projection by the ignorance. Sattatmana bhasamanataya karatvam kutastasyapi ghatate. Even the upadana karanam is kutastam. Material cause is changeless. As long as it accompanies the effect, so long it is called the material cause. Therefore, karatvam kutastasyapi ghatate. Brahman, that is kutastam, can also be karanam because it accompanies the karyam. Meaning that karanam need not be necessarily vikari. What is required is that it should accompany the karyam. Then samsarasya niyamakam, samsarasya kalpanamulam, ajnanam, and ajnanam samsarasya niyamakam. What is niyamakam? Samsarasya niyamakam iti visheshanena sara vikalpanayaha ajnanamulatve अन्वय व्यतिरेकाख्यम प्रमाण अनुमानम सूचयति. So niyamakam is that which controls, without which the other thing cannot be. So ignorance not only is the cause of the projection, it is also the one that controls. In what manner does it control? Sarva vikalpanayaha ajnanamulatve. That all the vikalpana, all the projection has its root in ignorance. You made a statement, ajnanam kalpanamulam. But then, is there a reason why you say that? Niyamakatvat. So, अन्वय व्यतिरेकाख्यम प्रमाण अनुमानम सूचयति. Where ajnanam is there is samsara is there. Ajnanam is not there, samsara is not there. Samsara is there, ajnanam is there. Therefore, by anvaya vyatireka, we can say the ajnanamulatva. So, ajnanam kalpanamulam is stated. Why do you say that ajnanam is kalpanamulam? Because anvaya vyatirekakyam, when ajnanam is there, then only samsara can be there. Ajnanam is not there, samsara is not there. In samsara, there is always ajnanam. In ajnanam, samsara is not there. I mean, jnanam. So, the anvaya vyatirekakyam. Ajnanam is not there, samsara is not there. Ajnanam is there, samsara is there. Tat satve tat satvam, tad asatya tad bhave tad bhava, tad abhave tad abhava. So this niyamakam gives you the reason of anvaya vyatireka, or that Brahman always accompanies everything. Without Brahman, or ajnana accompanies everything. Without ajnanam, there cannot be creation that way. So Brahman was said to be the material cause, but Brahman accompanies everything. But ajnanam is cause of projection, because where projection, ajnanam is there. So two anvaya vyatireka, two anvaya are stated. There is no vyatireka by Brahman, but then Sat always accompanies the universe. Therefore, Sat is the material cause. And what brought about this universe? Ajnanam. Why anvaya vyatireka? Where ajnanam is, projection is. Ajnanam is not, projection is not. So number one, Sat is the upadana karanam, because it accompanies all the karya. And ajnanam is the cause of that karya, because wherever karya is, ajnanam is there. Tari ajnana vishrama kim brahma pratyaktveena anusandheyam. So Brahman is the karanam. Ajnanam also is karanam. Brahma is karanam because it accompanies everything. Ajnana also is karanam because that also accompanies. Does it mean that Brahman and Ajnanam are always together? Kim tarhi ajnana vishya kim brahma pratyak. Does it mean that should I deliberate upon myself as Brahman, which is ajnana vishistam, because looks like Brahman also is cause, ajnanam also is cause. That means Brahman is also accompanied by ajnanam. Then what's the nature of myself? Brahma. What Brahman? Ajnana vishistam Brahma. Brahman qualified by ignorance. Is that my nature? Is that I should I deliberate upon myself? So now they part the ways. So far they were together. Brahman also was cause, Ajnana also was cause. Does it mean that both of them coexist, always go together? He says no. Brahman can be there, Ajnana need not be there. Therefore, second line is hitva atmanam param brahma vidyan muktam sada bhayam. Hitva means ajnanam hitva. So sakaryam ajnanam hitva. Kalpanamulam samsarasya kalpanamulam samsarasya niyamakam ajnanam hitva. Ajnana, which is the cause of the samsara, and niyamak of samsara, hitva. Now that ajnana is subject to being negated, dispelled by jnanam. So that's the saving grace, that ajnanam is dispelled by jnanam. Sakaryam ajnanam hitva. How? Sakshatvena tasya sakshidhanvatam badhitva. Understand, ajnanam also sakshyam. Ajnanam also is known. One is aware of ignorance, therefore ajnanam is sakshyam, meaning that which is the object of sakshya, the witness, it witnessed. So give up the witness. What is witness? Sakshyam. And arrive at the sakshi only. Sakshatvena tasya sakshi dharmatam badhitva. Sakshya cannot be sakshi dharma. Drushya cannot be drashtu dharma. What is objectified cannot be the dharma of the subject. So ajnana is objectified, therefore Ajnanam cannot be the dharma of the witness, which is Atma. So that recognize that Atma is free from Ajnanam. Atmanam pratyancham sakshitvena urvaritam. So if this Ajnanam is badhitam, is given up, does anything remain? Yes, urvaritam. What remains after negating the Ajnanam is Sakshi, which is Atma or consciousness. Saksha badhaya param brahma. Saksha badhaya, by badha or negation of Sakshya, what is witnessed? Object, ignorance. Param brahma paripurnam muktam karyakaya prapancha samsarga rahitam. Very important. Param Brahma Paripurnam Muktam Vidyan Muktam Sada. Param Brahma Vidyan Muktam Sada Bhayam. Atmanam Param Brahma Vidyat. Me, you know Atma is Param Brahma. What's the nature? Muktam Sada Bhayam. Sada Muktam Sada Bhayam Brahma Atmanam Vidyat. So Atma is Brahma, the witness, which is my Atmana, Pratyancham, is my very self. So what Brahman may create some idea of something different from me. So no, Brahman is Atmana, Pratyancham is my very self, innermost self. Sakshitvena, Urvaridam, Sakshavadaya, Param Brahman. Param means Paripurnam, Muktam. And Brahman is always Muktam. In what sense? Karya, Karana, Prapancha, Samsarga Rahitam, Sada Muktam. It's not that Atma or Brahman becomes liberated after knowledge. Sada Muktam is always liberated, always free. In what sense is it free? Karya, Karana, Prapancha, Samsarga Rahitam. This Karya, Karana, Prapancha, universe consisting of cause and effect, which projection due to ignorance, Brahman has no samsarga at all. It is at the level of the Adhyaropa. Adhishthanam Brahman has no samsarga at all, and therefore, just as the rope is always free of the snake. Even when people look upon rope as snake, the rope is no snake at all, never had, doesn't have, will not have. And then similarly, this Karya, Karana, Prapancha, the universe is a projection like a snake. And the Rajusthaniyam, the Brahman that is Adhishthanam, has no samsarga at all, so is always mukta. And therefore Abhayam, Advitiyam. There is nothing other than Brahma because all other things are not there. Jagat is not other. Jagat is non-existent in Brahman, understand? The Adhyaropa is non-existent in Adhishthanam. Therefore, from the standpoint of Adhishthanam, there is nothing other than Adhishthanam. Nothing other than Brahma. Therefore, Abhayam, Advayam, Aham Brahmasmiti, Mahavakyadabhutam, Sada Vidyat, Anusandadhyat. So, Sada Muktam, Sada Abhayam, Sada Vidyat. Aham Brahmasmi. Iti Mahavakyadabhutam. That Abhayam, Muktam, Abhayam, Paripurnam, Brahma, Param Brahma. So, in Mahavakyardhabhutam, that is the, what is the intended, what's the meaning of the Mahavakya? What is Aham Brahmasmi? Aham Brahmasmi Mahavakya and Mahavakyarthabhutam. What's the meaning of that? That Brahman is what? Paripurnam, Sada Muktam, Sada Abhayam, Advitiyam, Aham, that I am. So this is the equation of Aham and Brahman. In a primary sense, Aham is equated to Brahma by this Vakya Aham Brahmasmi. Vedantin says that that equation is a primary sense, without unqualifiedly equal or identical. That identity is not part and this and that, it is or Upasaka, Upasaka. It is in a primary, Aham is Brahman, without qualification. So that is how you must always deliberate, meditate upon yourself. I am Brahman. What Brahman? Sada Muktam, Param, Paripurnam, Sada Muktam, Sada Abhayam, Advitiyam. Iti sada vidyat anusandadhyat. That's how meyu anusandhanam. Meditate upon yourself, Pratyagatma as Brahman in this manner. So give up those fellows, Mimamsakad and this and Vaisheshikad and Bauddha, they are all dismissed. Then what is the purpose of dismissing all of them? So that you can appropriately contemplate upon yourself. Otherwise, to contemplate upon yourself as Shunya or Kshanika, or as qualified by Nicha, Dvesha, Sukham, Dukkham, etc. Some 14 attributes they imagine upon Atma. Whatever be the nature of Atma, that is what you should contemplate upon. So if you contemplate on what all other fellows are saying, you will be totally lost or misguided. Therefore, this is the way you should contemplate. Aham Brahmasmi is what Vedanta says. For Aham is Brahma in primary sense. And Brahma is this Adhisthana. Kalpanamula Ajnanam, but Ajnana is Adhisthana. And that way, you can, the reason why Ajnanam also is only Adhyaropa, so you can dismiss it. In Adhishthanam, the Adhyaropa has no existence at any time. Therefore, Adhyaropa can be completely let go. So Ajnanam, which is Karam, and Jagat, which is Karyam, completely given up, and stay yourself, remain or recognize yourself as non-negatable, non-irreducible substratum, the consciousness with Brahman. And Brahman means Param, Abhayam, Muktam. See yourself as that. That's how you deliberate, contemplate upon yourself. Om. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashyakrutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.